Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge with your latest football news, and I don't believe it. The one midfielder that I think is going to be on the move next season and could be perfect for Manchester United, Adam Wharton, Crystal Palace. And this morning, it's all about bloody Liverpool and how he might be heading there in the summer. The changing face of football in full evidence again. Multiple reports talking about Adam Wharton to Liverpool. Do you think it would be a good move? It's going to be a big midfielder market in the summer transfer window with the likes of Elliot Anderson, Adam Wharton, Baleba, Angelo Stiller. There's so many to look at. But this is one player that I think would be brilliant. And also, being left out of the England squad, did you read his interview about what he said about it? I think he is going to be a very, very big player in the Premier League and for England over the coming years. And whoever gets hold of him is going to get a real starlet, I believe. But look, just to take one report, in the Mail today, Liverpool are among the Premier League clubs interested in signing 21-year-old Crystal Palace and England midfielder Adam Wharton. He's been linked with a number of top clubs since he's joined from Blackburn, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal, Real Madrid, Manchester United. I want him at Manchester United. We need a midfielder more than anybody. We've got one of the worst midfields in the top 10. And Liverpool have got one of the best. Arsenal have got one of the best. Chelsea have got one of the best. Why are they going after Adam Wharton? Because it's a talent, and this is the changing face of football. And I don't think anymore you can look at your team and go, well, we don't need him. We've got Gravenberch. We've got Curtis Jones. We've got Alexis McAllister. We don't need him. We've got, I don't know why they're rubbish Southerners there, but, you know, I don't need him. But the reason teams are looking at him is because he's doing fantastically well at Crystal Palace. He should be in the England team, and I'll tell you what he said about this in a moment, because I think that displays a fantastic mentality. And he's only 21. He's Premier League proven. He's only 21. He's playing in an area of the pitch where Crystal Palace are doing very well in the league. He's doing very well, and he's showing his qualities. And it's hard work to play in the midfield for Crystal Palace. It's hard work to play for Crystal Palace. You've got to be a hard worker in the Glasner system. And I think for Manchester United, this would be perfect. He can play in that midfield pivot too. He gets the ball. He's very progressive with it. He's very energetic. He's up and down. He's box to box. People think he's quite a defensive player. I think he can do the defensive work, but I actually think you're missing his huge role in how quickly Crystal Palace transition from, you know, back to front, and he's a big part of that. He can carry the ball as well. Very, 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 very consistent player. Should be in that England squad, of course he should. But I think it's the mentality, and I read this about what he said about not being in the England squad, and this is what he had to say. Tuchel gave me a message saying I'm playing well, I'm close, and I deserve to be there, but he's going to stick with the same team from last time. That's football. I'm not too fussed about it. I can take the time off. I can see my grandparents, and it's not the end of the world as there's another camp coming up. It's nice to hear that I'm part of his plans, but my focus is on Crystal Palace, and if that goes well, then England's a bonus. Nothing is expected. England have some top players, and he's got a lot of players to choose from. No matter who he picks, someone is not going to get there. So I'm not going to make a fuss about it. I can't sit here and cry. This is football. I'm happy to be playing for Palace, getting minutes and trying to do well as I can and improve. And if I get picked, I get picked. If not, I'll carry on playing for Palace and enjoying it. And I think that's just a strong mentality. And I think that is a rarity. And the reason I want Adam Wharton at Manchester United, and I suppose Elliot Anderson probably falls into this category in the same way, they've just got that thing that's quite rare in football. You know, I look at the likes of Roy Keane and Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard and all these types of players. And I'm not putting Wharton or Anderson at that level, but it's the mentality to, you know, be quite level-headed, but very consistent and, you know, very driven. And that's not always out there. I mean, I've said this about Baleba at Brighton. Very, very talented player, but doesn't get the move to Man United in the summer, really struggling for form. That sort of betrays a bit of a mentality problem there that, you know, he's not able to deal with that and just go again. Whereas Adam Wharton, not in the England squad, okay, I'll just keep working harder. And I think this is, you know, this is what's going to make him a very, very attractive proposition in the summer when he clearly will move. I'd love him at Man United. I just think when you look at what Arsenal did with Declan Rice from West Ham, it's that sort of a deal. You know, you just know that Declan Rice is going to go to Arsenal and work because he's got the mentality, the professionalism, the consistency, and I can see it again with Wharton. And I can see him going to someone like Liverpool. I can see him going to someone like Chelsea over a Manchester United because they'll be able to give him that step up of the Champions League, which Man United might not be able to. But also, it's the changing face of football, isn't it? This is what we've mentioned so many times. these clubs now are spending $500 million when they're winning the league or finishing second. They're building squads. And I think that, all right, Liverpool may well have Gravenberch and McAllister, but Adam Wharton competing with them across 60 games in a season where you're going to play 2 domestic cups, a league, a Champions League, it makes sense to carry these super squads now. And I can see a Liverpool going for a player like that because, if something does happen to Gravenberch or McAllister, you're a little bit lightweight in that area. And they'll certainly have the funds to do it because they're probably going to have more funds than United to carry a bigger squad because of what they're going to earn from what they do in the Champions League as well. So, yeah, it's a shame because I think that we're going to see this more and more. We're going to see these bigger squads be built for these bigger demands. And it's just, I just would like to see him coming to Manchester United. I mean, there are other options out there, as I said, and it will be a very interesting market in the midfield. But I just think that the transfer window changed massively in the summer. I think it's no longer a slow burner that people start doing in May. I think people are looking at it all the time. I mean, Liverpool are already tapped into Crystal Palace with Gehi. I mean, it's not that hard to sort of have a little bit of a conversation with Wharton as well. And I think people are projecting their plans a lot quicker. And as we know, it's a World Cup coming up as well, which is going to take up a lot of time in the summer. So I think teams will be looking around now. I mean, it's not that long really until we're Christmas, January transfer window, then you're coming towards the back end of a season. So I think when you've got a talent like that, with a mentality like that, who's clearly probably going to be moving at the end of the season and there's going to be competition for places, I think people will start now. I don't think people will wait. And I think the club that sits there and waits till May will find themselves empty-handed. So it'll be very interesting how it develops, but be very disappointed as well. I mean, the strong just get stronger and the weak get weaker. I mean, United, I know that's football, but United need to be looking at players like this. I mean, even Spurs, I think, have got good options in their midfield. Newcastle have got a strong midfield. I know Villa have had a bad start to the season, but they have got a strong midfield with people like McGinn, Anana, Tillemans, etc., Morgan Rogers. Obviously, I've mentioned Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City. A strong midfield tends to go hand in hand with teams that are doing well. And look, Spurs have got a better midfield than United. Villa have got a better midfield than United. Newcastle have got a better midfield than United. And then the top 4 of Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal obviously have. So that's 7 clubs that have got a much stronger midfield than United. And if they keep strengthening those, we need to be looking at players like this. And as I said, I think Balaber's a very talented player. But would I take Wharton over Balaber at the moment? Yes. For the consistency. He just, I think Balaber looks good, but Wharton would be my pick at the moment. Let me know your thoughts. Get your comments in below. What do you think? Liverpool fans or Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, would you be going in for a player like this? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks everyone for watching. I was going to talk about England a little bit, but realistically, the watch along we did last night was mainly just chatting about things that were nothing to do with football. I mean, look, Wharton should be in that England squad, by the way. Why Jordan Henderson's there, I don't know. I mean, yeah, he's done well for Brentford. But who gives a shit? He's had his time. He shouldn't be in the England squad. Thanks for watching. Speak to you in a bit. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe.